Hey Tom, how's it going, Paul?
Good.
I asked you down here so we can have a wee chat about the district and netting techniques and the use of net in our district. I mean, when I'm travelling about in the district and having a look, I mean, I predominantly come across groups of boys and from all spectrums of angling that don't carry nets with them. So really, I thought it might be quite a good idea to get a message out and have a chat, just an informal blether about why and what the benefits are of a net and why we use a net.
Well, for me, Lee, the benefits of having a net far outweigh the benefits of not having a net. And my main reasons, top of the list,
Top of the pops
is fish care.
Aye, that's it.
Fish care and safety, and my own safety as well. Once I've got a fish in the net, pressure off, great. Let's have a look. Let's look after the fish.
Aye.
Let's get it pointing upstream. Let's get the water going over its gills, oxygen getting in there. Fantastic. Let the fish recover enough, get your rod down, get your forceps out, unhook the fish safely in the net, and then with modern nets like this one here, you've got this rubber mesh, which is absolutely fantastic, and again, it's an essential part as well because it keeps the slime, the protective coating that's on a fish, on the fish. Unlike clothing, if you're holding the fish here and it's jumping around and you're kind of holding it like this, that's taking all the protective coating off the fish. You know, you're doing the hero shot, you're putting the fish back, you're feeling good, but you're letting the fish go away injured.
That's right.
You know, so in order to avoid giving the fish an unnecessary injury, keep it in the net. Somebody else will be lucky enough up the river to maybe have another shot at it because these fish are far too valuable. Only
few and far between, as you say, Tom. No, I mean, they really are. I mean, they're worth their weight in gold, these fish that are swimming up, and that's why really I feel as if, I mean, I come across a lot of boys fishing with expensive equipment, expensive waders, expensive reels, but the lack of a net, and a net is actually one of the cheapest pieces of equipment you can buy for your fishing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've tripped over, ass over, tit over a net, I've been hung in a tree, I've lost fish, I've cracked a fish on the nose, I've even cracked a guest fish in the nose. Do you know what I mean? And that's my fault, like, you know what I mean? So these things happen, we know it happens, but once you start using a net, you get to notice the quirks with a net, and that's the most important thing.
I could fish with my net on my back without even knowing it's there.
Aye.
Now,
you don't catch any fish, do you? Anyway, man, you know what I mean?
I'm not the tallest guy in the world. In years gone by, the only option for guy nets were these big, huge
butterfly nets.
Butterfly nets. Now, when I was wandering about, I was finding myself anchoring myself to fences and all sorts of things. But with this, with my strap, all my gear on, ready to go fishing, fishing away. There's nothing that restricts me from casting my spinning rod, casting my fly rod, and then when I'm walking around, it's not getting caught. And when I'm lucky enough to get a fish, slides off, foot goes on the bottom, press the button, up it comes, and you're ready to safely land that fish and then look after it. Now, the benefits of having, in particular, a net like this, is that when you've got the fish in and it's facing upstream and it's the time to recover, you can take the doubt away from guessing what weight it is as well, because in this model here, you've got a scale inside the handle. So that takes away all the guesswork. Oh, it's a 15 pounder. No, it's 9 pounds, sir. And then whenever that fish is ready, facing upstream, and away it goes.
I mean,
and you've not touched it, the slime remains on the fish has been safe inside the net, you've not lifted it out the water. You haven't dropped it from a height, you've not risked any damage to its internal organs. You've done a good catch and release.
Now, just so you know, as part of my job, when I'm touring about, I'm seeing a lot more of these fish that have got the white disease on the front, back and the tail. Now that's down to people tailing the fish, holding the fish by the tail, lifting it out of the water. Or the worst thing I've ever seen is actually kneeling on top of the fish to unhook it. When that to me shouldn't be happening really. They're few and far between, Tam, man.
You need to be trying a little bit harder and maybe a little bit more thought.
Just a wee bit.
Into looking after that fish and safely looking after it while it's in our company.
That's right.
And as we part company,
Yep.
Away it goes.
Tom, I've been fishing for a fair bit of time, and I learned from boys that have been fishing for a fair bit of time. And let's face it, a net was never really the first process. A tailor, a gaff. When I was a young pup, that's all these old boys wanted to do. And they taught you it was alright to beach a fish because it was getting chapped. But we're no chapping fish now. We've got a law in place up until the 1st of April. All fish must be returned with least possible harm.
Exactly.
So what I'm trying to say is, what is least possible harm? And in my eyes, is using a net to return that fish without bringing it out its natural environment, to me, is least possible harm. And they're far too valuable to have that, it's just a fish process anymore. Every fish that's in that river is important for the environment. You know, it all makes it up.
A little bit of thought for the fish.
Yeah.
And for yourself as well. You know, be a better angler.
I mean, we've got a duty of care to actually look at the fish, and not only for the fish for the following years, but for future generations that are coming to fish this river.
We're lucky enough to live in Scotland. We've got some beautiful surroundings round about us. It's beautiful just to be out, it is.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, the goal is to get a bar of silver on the bank. That's what it's all about.
Of course it is. Yep.
Safely in the net, safely unhooked, if possible, photograph
and back in,
and let it go back. And for me, that's watching fish swim away. For me, there's nothing better. No, to see that kick, that initial kick, and the boom, and they're gone with a blink of an eye, it's quite a special thing actually. Cheers, mate.